Well, hi folks, this is Darren with My RV Works. Welcome to my winter wonderland. I've been working in the snow all day and we got work lined up tomorrow for snow. I love it, it's fun. You're about to embark with me on a video I put together for you where I basically go through my tool bag that I carry with me when I go to the job sites. Now this is going to be for mobile RV service type tools. If you're a DIYer, you might get some ideas on how I might use some tools and what I carry with me. If you are interested in doing a mobile RV service business, we're getting a lot of folks sending us comments on how to get started. And so what we've done is we've put together for you a whole video series on how to start, build, maintain, and operate your own mobile RV service business wherever you are. It's based on our best practices of us doing this for several years, moving our businesses different places, what works, what doesn't work, advertising strategies. We're going to go really deep, and we're going to be recording that, for better part of a year. We'll be coming out with new series, new episodes, pretty much weekly is what we're trajectorying as of right now. So if you like the content you're about to embark upon, where we're going to go in on basically what I have in my tool bag, over on that Patreon side, we're going to go into greater detail. That's where we're going to go through my service trailer. We're going to go through best practices on what works, what doesn't work from our time down the trail. So sit back, enjoy this video, and if you like more of this content, we do invite you to check out our Patreon side where we're going to go into greater detail, much more granular. And so if you're interested in starting your own business, doing what we do here, that might be just what you're looking for. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video where I dumped my tool bag. At the end, I don't remember what I started off with, but like 33 pounds. I ended up with right at 30 pounds. So I shed about 2 pounds just dumping it of just trash and junk. So anyway, enjoy this, and I really appreciate you. So without any further ado, let's jump right into that other video that I made for you guys. Okay. Well, hi folks, this is Darren with My RV Works, and about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I did a video on what I carry in my tool bag. And I remember having come out of a cold or flu or something where I'd lost my voice. So anyway, got my voice back. And so it's been a little over 2 years, and I've done some changes to some things, and I felt it's time to dump the tool bag again. And let's just show you what a RV tech carries in his tool bag or her tool bag. So basically what I have here is if I'm going into work on a customer's RV, and I don't care if it's an awning, a hydraulics system, a slide room, furnace, stove, whatever, a lot of what I carry here is I'll be able to diagnose the problem. So I do have a service trailer that's got probably another $50,000 to $70,000 with more tools and equipment in it. But this is my everyday carry bag. So without any further ado, let's dump this out and show you what I have in it and what I carry, and maybe some of the decisions as to why I carry what I carry and how to use some of these more exotic type things. What I did was I put on my bathroom scale. Right now at this point, the bag is 33 pounds. Okay, so I'm carrying a 33 pound, but the reason I want to dump it right now is because as I'm working on those jobs and I snip things or cut things, this is also my trash bag. So about every month or every 2 months, I'll just dump the thing out and kind of hit a reset and reload it. So I wanted to start with how much the thing weighs now, and then once we get done, I'm sure we'll shed a few pounds. Anyway, when I dump it out, I'll tell you the tool bag I'm using and why. So the takeaway here is I'm going to show you what I use and why I use it, and then maybe that'll help you. As a bonus, in our website, I'm going to show you where you can go. I do have an affiliate program with Amazon. So if you're going to buy these things and you've already decided you're going to buy them from Amazon, I sure would appreciate it if you buy them from our link. And because I think Amazon pays us like 2% or 3% of that sale. You still pay the same amount, but we get a little cut on that. That's why you can show some love towards My RV Works. But it's okay if you don't want to do that. That's fine too. Amazon's not the only show in town. I have found Grainger has some really good stuff, and Grainger has what's called a Red Pass. So like Amazon has its Prime, Grainger has a Red Pass where it's free shipping. And what I found is sometimes it's good to shop around, and Amazon's not the only show in town. Even though I like to get my affiliate links, I also want you guys to save some money and get some good quality stuff. So don't be afraid to go over to Grainger.com and check out some of their products over there as well. There's also a couple other sites that are not affiliated with anybody. They have their own thing, and you can get some tools that way too. But if you're going to buy from Amazon, let me take a moment and show you where those sites are and how to get to them from our website. So let's do that now, and then I'll dump my tool bag, and then you can go shopping. All right. Okay, so folks, so if you go to myrvworks.com, you're going to get to our website. okay, where Happy Campers Say My RV Works. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this online tools and parts store. So you would click the online tools and parts store. Now, I make some tools myself that we offer to you guys, so this would be where you can learn more about those tools. I'm constantly coming out with some new ones, so over the course of a year, check back every so often to see what new things we have. So here you'll see I make a test lead set, and I make an LP tap jig, and then down here I'm making an aqua hot box, and I've got a lot of white space here. I've got some new tools that we're coming out with very, very soon, and so there's a lot more white space, and this page can go on quite a bit. So sure would appreciate you guys checking out some of the tools that I make to help RV techs do our jobs and do our things, and then we can click back to our My RV Works store. Here we have some merch, and you can grab some merch. We've got beanies and shirts and mugs and hats and all kinds of fun things. And Trisha, our office manager, is always throwing things in there as she gets a different feel from folks. So if you guys want something unique or something unusual, send a text or a message to info@myrvworks.com, and Trisha will get that. I need to get one of these myself, so I might bug her next time I'm in the office to say, hey, I need one of those. But where we're going to focus on today is check out Darren's list, and this is going to bring you directly to our Amazon site. And these thumbnails might change a little bit as we add things to the store, but here I have electrical and shop supplies and plumbing parts and furnace parts, slide room parts, hardware for your RV, Jackson leveling, refrigerator parts, air conditioners, test equipment, and we might have some things that we're going to cover in our video today under the test equipment, hydronic heaters, water heaters, lighting, roofs and vents. As you can see, I don't need to read all that. So here we have some power tools, which let's go into that one real quick. And if you go into power tools, I use predominantly 12-volt tools in the work that I do, because as I am working on an RV, I might need to check a light or a solenoid or even bump a slide room. And so that gives me a 12-volt power supply right on my drill that I use to give me that 12-volt power source. And then over on our test leads, not that one, this one, I make an adapter for my test lead that you can connect directly to a battery pack, and I'll show you that here today. So if I go to not the complete set, I wanted to go to this one. It's right, where is it? These are, so we're offering these little, there it is. What you just saw, those are things that I found work great, and so we have an a la carte type setup where you can get what you need. But this little thing is what I make to connect directly to your battery pack and then to the test lead, and it'll give you the 12 volts that you need to run things. So that's why we use 12-volt tools. Cruising on down, where we're going to spend most of our time today is right here in hand tools. So you'll click on hand tools, and a lot of what I'm going to be covering in what I carry in my tool bag, you can find here. So you can just shop to your heart's content and find the things. So let's get back to dumping my tool bag out. The internet's being kind of slow out here. We've got a Starlink connection, but for some reason it's going really slow. But here we have all kinds of tools that I use. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that's where you can find your stuff. So the myrvworks.com, click on Darren's tool list, and then you can click here and you'll go straight to our Amazon store and go shopping, not only for tools, but for shop supplies and things like that. Okay, on with the show. So a lot of the things that I'm going to have in this tool bag, you'll be able to get directly from our Amazon affiliate site and pay the same price, including this nice tool bag. So what I'm going to do now is reset up the cameras. I'll have one aiming down and maybe do a close-up and show you what we got. And let's not waste your time. Let's show you what an RV tech, the seasoned RV tech would carry in his tool bag and why we carry it. Okay, let's go. Okay, without any further ado, let's jump right in. Now the first thing I'm going to use is these gloves here. I really like these gloves. These are the Max Flex gloves. They just feel really good, and a lot of times you'll see I'll get these little green, where we go, there we go, everything's upside down. But if it's raining or cold, I'll use these, and then I'll just pull one out and I'll slide this right over my hand. And what I have found is it keeps my hand nice and warm, okay? And even if I'm working in the rainy or the cold, they help cut the wind and my hands stay dry, but I'm still able to work on really small screws and things. So that is something that I've discovered in my time in the field. It works really well. So that's a takeaway there. Also, the shirt you see me wear all the time, it's got a lot of pockets on it, and it helps hold my phone, or if I'm going up on a roof or something, I can just stow things in one of the breast pockets that it has. So the shirt that I wear let's not discount that. Also, I'll get these out of the way, these knee pads. I've got links on those. I've tried a lot of different knee pads. You've seen in my video I have knee pads. I like these because they articulate. Where's the angle there? They articulate and they stay exactly where they need to stay and not slide down your ankles. So there's those. Now that's not what I carry in my tool bag, but a lot of times when I'm going to go grab my tool bags, I will also grab my gloves and I'll grab my knee pads. Okay, so I can dump this. Let's just start taking stuff out. I'm about to dump it, but I want to get some. Let's just dump it. Here we go. Everything out. So you're going to see a lot of trash in there. I want to make sure everything's out of it. There. Okay. Oh, we got a couple more things here. I feel like that Gallagher guy with a sledge-o-matic. Okay, we got some stuff over here. Let's pull everything out, everything out, everything out. Like the TSA, they're going to dump your bag, right? Okay, we got a couple more things here. All right, the bag. A couple more things in this pocket here. And I think I got an idea on how to get a camera angle on there. Let me even take these tech cards off. Okay. Couple little straggler tie wraps in there. Let's get everything out. And this is normally what I do, guys. Oh, I got another tool in here. Besides, it helps me do a preventative maintenance on my tools to make sure they're working correctly. I've got a stubborn one in here, one of these pockets. There we go. Okay. And then I've got some tape here. I'll just leave that on there. Okay. And okay, so all the pockets are empty, it looks like. Oh, wait, got a couple more things in there. Okay, so now this tool bag has now been emptied. Now, I go with, and I'll make a link to it, this tool bag. In my other video, I did say I wish that the bottom was kind of rubberized. You can see that it's got some holes where tools have poked out. But this tool bag's been with me for about a year or a year and a half. And it's been on many hundreds of jobs, and it's holding up pretty well. There's a little bit right here where the rod is sticking through it, but it's a custom leather crafter's bag. One of the reasons I went with this bag over the other one is for this feature right here. I really liked that I can put a bunch of stuff, and I'll go in here. I'll go in what's in here as well. But I can kind of keep, as an RV tech, we've got wire nuts or little plumbing fittings or whatever, and it was a nice thing to have, just to have all these weird accessories and grab them quickly. So anyway, the first thing would be the tool bag itself. Now let's just see what we got. I'm going to set this on the side. Oh boy, all these things, and we're going to just whip through all these things. And I was looking for that, and so this is one of the reasons why I like dumping it out, because I realized, like, oh, I was looking for that, or this got lost, or this fell in there. So, and I even have another set of batteries. And but as you see, this is pretty much what I carry to be able to fix RVs. So let me figure out the best way to show you guys. I think what I might do is a picture-in-picture type thing. So let me get set up for the picture-in-picture, and then we'll have maybe I think I might have one camera on this mess and then another camera on the tool bag, and we'll transition. So let me take a second and try to get that set up for you. Okay, so I've got some cameras set up. I've moved some things around, and the goal is to take everything from this pile and move it into this bag. Okay, so let me do a little fancy transition here where we have here I am here, and then I'm going to be moving over to this picture here. So make sense? Great. So let's see what we got here. So let me start with it's the first thing I saw. So every pocket of my tool bag has a place. There's a place for everything. So here you have wire strippers. Now I have two types of wire strippers that I carry, big ones and little ones. Okay, so this would be for your larger Romex wires up to 18 gauge, and then this one's down to little smaller wires where you would have a thermostat type work. Okay, first thing that came out of the tool bag, and those go right there, and this one goes right there. Okay, you're going to have your own. Here's the next thing I grabbed, a pair of channel locks. I've got a couple different channel locks here. I've got 3, it looks like. Okay, so 3 channel locks, a big pair and then 2 small pair. The small pair, we're not really mechanics where we're really yanking down on some stuff. If we are going to be really yanking down on some stuff, well, then that's what the service trailers for. I've got things with cheater bars, but overwhelmingly these types of channel locks would work well, and you could probably get away with just 2, but I do carry 3. They're going to go 1, 2, 3 right here in the front. Okay, then I have a pair of lineman's pliers. I like these. Sometimes you'll be doing fish tape where you're pulling some wire and they can grab the fish tape here, crimps on the back. And I like Knipix products a lot. They just feel really good. I used to like Klein and Greenlee, but I'm telling you guys, they just seem to have gone south over, or maybe they've gone east. Anyway, so lineman's pliers, you're going to use these a lot. They just go right in there. I don't really care what pocket, but anyway, these front pockets here are where a lot of that stuff goes. And let's see, here we have an adjustable wrench. Okay, you're always using adjustable wrench in that pocket there. All right, so here I have a pair of vice grips. You can't go wrong with a pair of vice grips. Sometimes you just need them to grab maybe a screw that's turning, like on a refrigerator, an air conditioner. Sometimes you really need to bite onto that long threaded rod. It's stripped, so these will help you do that. They usually go right there. Okay. These are really fun. You can crimp a lot of your fittings in the insulated or non-insulated. Also, the tips here are really good for cutting tie wraps, things like that. They go there. Another thing I like for cutting tie wraps, where are they? Here they are. Well, here they are. Okay. So I carry a little nippy cutters. Okay, so these are great if you really need to get in there and snip off. I'm working on a furnace and I need to snip some of those tie wraps off. These are great. Also, when you install a tie wrap, and what I mean by tie wrap, one of these things right here, you can really get in there and cut it flush so you don't get bloody on it. And then a pair of needle nose pliers are really handy. So the needle nose pliers, obviously you'd use needle nose pliers. Now you'll notice I have 3 different types of needle nose pliers. Where's my other pair? Right here. Okay. So I have your standard everyday carry needle nose pliers. I also have some really fine point needle nose pliers here. And then I have some right angle to really get into some things. A lot of times you'll be working on an air conditioner and you drop that little 3/8 nut and you can reach in there and grab it. So these are really handy to have. Wait a minute. These go there, these go there, these go in the back. I don't use the little pointy ones very often. Pair of scissors, but big industrial metal kind. They go there. Some of these exotic ones I'll hang on to. Let's deal with screwdrivers. Okay, here, well, box cutter, razor blade, whatever. I like this one because in the back I can store additional blades in it. So you might be up on a job and you realize, I don't have a blade. And so I like this one because I can store more blades in the box itself and they're easy to switch out. Let's see, that goes right there. And we're going to get to screwdrivers. Okay, Allen keys, we'll knock out some of these. I carry both metric and standard. There's a set I carry in my service trailer that's a little bit better than these, but these fit in my tool bag, so I carry these. But if I'm going to be doing a lot with some of these Allen keys, I'll go to the service trailer and get the much better set. But these do fit in the tool bag, and so that's why they have a place. Tape measure, obviously, 16 feet is pretty much what I need for the weight. It's good. Getting some of these bigger things. Here's a, I don't use this very often, but it's just a blade. You might need to cut something, and it basically jackknifes itself closed, so that's kind of nice to have. And we're going to get into that in a minute. A magnetic tray. Can't go wrong with having a magnetic tray. Almost every job when I'm taking something apart, I'll use a magnetic tray to put things in. Looks like I got 2 magnetic trays. I only usually carry 1, so this one, I mean, the others I have in my service trailer, but I don't want my bag to weigh more than 33 pounds. So one of these will be in my service trailer. The other one I carry in my tool bag. So I'm going to put him in the service trailer. Extra battery. Okay, so now I'm looking for this. I think I have one more. These are these right angle drills. You can't go wrong with these, and I do carry two. These are the impact rated ones. There's another one. It probably broke and I stopped carrying it. There's another one, Milescraft or something. I've broken, I don't know how many of those, but these DeWalt ones that are impact rated, I can't break them. I've tried. So I carry two of these because you might need to configure this really weird, odd angled screw somewhere that you just can't get to. Aquahots come to mind. Let's see, water pumps. You're going to change out a water pump, and sometimes you can't barely get to it. So two of these are handy. I keep one in the tool bag, and the other one I keep right there in the front. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to get into these here in a minute. Let's deal with these screwdrivers and get some of this big stuff out. So, screwdrivers. You don't have to have the insulated kind. A lot of times I'll work on stuff that's still hot, and so I go with insulated. And so I've got a cabinet tip and an electronics tip. I've got a square number 2. I've got a P2 Phillips and a P1 Phillips. So this is just a standard set that I carry with me. A lot of times those will go in face up. Sometimes they end up face down. But I also carry the same brand of screwdrivers, but I've got a Keystone tip, a P1, and a electronics. But the benefit of these is I could also use these as chisels. Right out of the spec, they say you could use these as chisels. So I do carry another set of screwdrivers that I can use to really pry or abuse a little bit. And the fact that their shaft is hex, I can put a socket on it and help turn some of these really stubborn screws. Let me just show you that right there. So I'll get my little adjustable wrench, and sometimes you can grab this thing and really try to put some leverage on a screw that's just being stubborn on it. Okay. And so that goes down there. So like I said, sometimes my screwdrivers, I've been playing around with facing up and facing down. And lately I've been going face up so I could just look at the tip. And the back of the screwdriver, sometimes it'll have that mark on it, but they're starting to wear off. And so I've been going with face up lately, and that way I could just grab the tip that I need. Then I carry my really big abuser. It's not designed to be a punch, but it's the big guy that I can just really pry. I would never use this for installation anymore, but this is the one I would use to do some abuse work if I needed to. Because he's long, I can put him in, well, here, I'll tell you what, let's put him in upside down that way. This is a number 1 Robinson. My Canadian friends correct me. I call it a square bit, but I think Robinson. You guys are always correcting me, and I love you. So keep me straight. Anyway, it's a number 1, whatever it is. And you come across those every once in a while. So that leaves these putty knives. Now, the thing I like about the putty knives is the once you use them, if I'm going to be doing anything like a water heater or a furnace, and I've got to get that butyl tape or something, a window, and I've got to get that butyl tape off the RV slide room. These work great because they're not going to mar up the side of the RV. And when they do get notches and they get off, I'll just bring them here to my shop and run them on my sanding belt and reset them. And I've got a couple here that this one's been reset. You can see he's much shorter. Okay. So over the time I've used this much of them. So they're great just to keep a sharp edge on. I've also sharpened him. They're great to keep sharp edges on, and they're not going to hurt the customer's RV when you're working on them. So these are really great to have. They go in here. Along with those is what is called a window tool. And sometimes if you're doing an install job, these are fantastic. Like let's say you installed a water heater or a furnace and you put the butyl tape and you've just got to skin around. It's kind of satisfying to do it. But they've got a little beveled edge or a little blunt edge. And I carry 2. One of them is a little bit more used up. And then this one's kind of new if I'm going to really do a nice clean edge. So I carry 2 of those with me. There's a little pocket back here where they go there. And then, of course, a putty knife. This one's a flexible putty knife. And if you need to, what's that word when you're going to do if you've got a rope like a paracord or something and you need to cut it, whipping is what it's called. So I'll take a paracord or even my climbing rope, because we do that on the side, and so you get this glowing red hot, and then you can just sear right through your paracord, and it sears it nicely. So that's why it's a little discolored. But a putty knife is good. I have I've carried both rigid and flex, and the flex seems to work the best. So rigid does not go with me; it stays in the service trailer. That goes right there. And then I've got a chisel. This one's been very abused. The tip is even chipped, but a lot of times somebody will need to ask you to align the door catch on a wooden door, and this is enough to make it work. I mean, we're not dealing with hardcore fine furniture here. We're just chipping out the wood a little bit to shim something or make it work. So I carry one of those, and the 1/2 inch seems to be a good diameter. In my wood shop here, I've got much higher grades of these, but this does get some use. And there's a little pocket where that goes right there. And let's see here. I'm going to get to some of these other ones. So now we're starting to get into more of the exotic stuff. Okay, let's knock this out. So I carry in my drill set, my drill, it's a hex. I pretty much standardize on just the hex head. Yes, I have the kind with a clutch, but it doesn't really go with me. It stays in the service trailer, but I'm not going to carry it with me. So every tool that is in my tool bag has this hex adapter, including all the drills that I got. Now I also, the Milwaukee set's really nice, and sometimes I'll get 2 of these when I'm buying them because they'll get dull, and I have a drill doctor, but the drill doctor, you can't really get these kinds of drill bits in. So the drill doctor stays here, and that's what I use on my drill press in the shop. So when these go dull, I just throw them away and reset. So I might go through 2 or 3 of this set a year if they're getting dull. But then I also carry the hex-headed step bits, and they just fit right in there, and I use them all the time for all kinds of things, so you can get the idea. So these I've found that these sizes are great. I used to carry drills that are indexed to like the 1/16 of an inch, and that's overkill. For what we do in the field, this is good enough. You're going to be pre-drilling a hole for a screw or something, so that is good. That goes right there, okay? Then that leaves this. Now, I remember in my other video, these sockets over here on the tool bag, they've got these little elastic things. And so I used to store them right there. Well, then they would always fall. So I really don't use these for anything. And so I was in a local store, and I was down the fishing aisle, and I found these little things. So so I'll get this set that's got all the Torx bits and the different size. We don't run into a lot of flat blades, the Keystone or Keyway, or we don't come across that. But anyway, if I needed them, I can create it. But then this is where all my little swivel type. So this is the swivel set, and I would highly recommend the swivel set that's magnetic, and you can snap them together. I could probably hit this with some penetrating oil because they're starting to rust from working in the rain. But so this is where all these things go, and make sure it's locked, and that fits right there. Then that leaves a mirror. Now we had I want to give him a shout out if I can think of. But he for Christmas, he sent us a mirror, because when you're using your mirror, everything's backwards and upside down. But he sent us a mirror that when you shine it, everything is exactly the correct way. And so down in the description, I'm going to give a shout out to him. And so that's really nice. This is what's in my tool bag. That other one, it's nice, and I keep it in my service trailer. If I'm going to be trying to read a toilet part number on the back of a Thetford or Dometic toilet, and I got to get that part number. Or just the other day I was using one, we needed to know the furnace model number, and so we use the mirror for that as well. Okay, that goes right there. Okay, now we're getting into some more exotic stuff. So here's a voltage pin. Highly recommend it if you're going to do anything with AC. Then we would check it out with the voltage pin first. And one of the things we're going to be coming out with on our tools that I'm making is a lockout bag for your AC short cord. So the voltage pin goes right there. All right, some of these exotic ones I want to show. Okay, well here we have, you plug this in and it'll give you your light show to show you on your AC circuits what the wiring is. Sometimes I'd be surprised if The biggest thing this thing catches is an open neutral. The hot and neutral are switched. The thing I like about the one with a button on it is it'll trip the GFCI if it's got a GFCI on it. So that goes here. This tool here I really like a lot. It's a magnetizer, demagnetizer. Here, let me give you a demonstration. Let me find, okay, so here's a screw. Okay, that's, there. Where is my, not this pick, this pick. Okay, so I'm trying to pick that up. Okay, it's weak. I am able to pick that up a little bit, barely. But so if I go to my magnetizer and I magnetize this, this works really well for screwdrivers, but I've already put those away, so we'll use this. So now, look at that. Okay, it picked up that screw, and that's great because you'll magnetize your tips. And then if I don't want to pick up my screw, then you run it through the demagnetizer. Ow, don't stab yourself. And then it's not picking up anything. So magnetizer, demagnetizer, they're great to have. And so you'll find, I'm going to get that out. Okay, here's my little nest of them. So a lot of times on my drill, like here's my P2 Phillips that I'll put on my drill. And let's see if he's magnetized. So no, this one's not magnetized. He's not picking up that, but I'll go through the magnetizer and just kind of run it through a couple of times like that, and then it's magnetized. So anyway, great tool, love it. So I use it all the time, and that goes in here like that. So then again, we talk about the drill being hex, and I've found that the 6-inch ones work really well. They just help you. It looks like I got 2 Phillips here. So my usually everyday carry was going to be a S2 square Robinson. I think I'm saying that right to my Canadian friends. So I carry a square because most of your screws in an RV are going to be the square heads. And then we carry a P2 Phillips, and then this is a T25 Torx. We come across these enough for me to carry to my tool bag. This would be air conditioners have a P25. So it's enough for me to carry in my tool bag to have a Torx 25. So these are the 3 everydays that I carry here. They go right there. I don't need this second Phillips, but I do carry a 6-inch extension to make those longer. And then I do carry a 7/8 spanner wrench. This is a size for coax. So sometimes you're trying to get a coax wire loose, you're doing a satellite job or something, so it's just nice to have one. You don't have to run to the service trailer to get it. That goes there. And then I carry a pick. I love these picks. These are great. And then his brother, where is it? I just had him a minute ago, is the one with a right angle. You guys see it anywhere? It's the right, there he is. It's the right angle pick, okay? So this is great. You've seen me use a right angle pick when I'm prying off the make sure your power's off, but I'll get behind it. I'll pop off the connectors, you know, little connectors like that. So these 2 picks, now they look the same. So for me, the straight one goes there, and then the 90-degree one goes over there. A magnet, yes, these are wonderful. He goes over here away from everybody. And then this is a punch, where if you need to punch, if you're going to be drilling a hole in wood or something, or metal, it's good to kind of give you a pilot hole. So it's a little punch that I carry with me for that purpose. That goes there. We're going to get into some of these other things. Okay, I carry a tube cutter. Sometimes you just need to cut a PEX, and you don't want to go to the service trailer to get the big set. So the tubing cutter, it goes in this little flap right here. Let's talk about these guys. What these do, here we go. Okay, so if I need to, I'm working on I'm going to be doing a converter job, right? And we need to strip out the, we're going to take the old converter off, and the new converter comes with a plug on it like this. And we need to cut the plug off, ergo we're voiding the warranty, but we need to get to the wires because the we're going to wire it directly to the service entrance. And so let me just get these off real quick. Okay, and so this is a coax stripper, okay, but what I do to the coax stripper is I take out one of the blades that's got the little notch in it, okay? So you get one of these things and you modify it. You do not store it with the tail sprung in the socket. You only do that when you're going to use it. And then you figure out that looks like it's this size, and then you spin it around a time or two. And then when you break that insulation, you did not come anywhere near nicking the conductors. Okay, so if I'm going to be doing a lot of times with solar jobs, you have to strip a lot of wires. Anything where I'm doing wire stripping, this kind of an SO size cord, I'll use these. This green one here would be if I'm doing anything like, I don't use this one as much, but this would be what you would use for Ethernet type cable. When I was doing industrial work, before I was an RDV tech, I use this a lot. But I don't really use it much. And in fact, I would even say I haven't used this in the last year, so I'm going to put it over here, and that's going to go back to the service trailer. But I do use this one enough to carry with me, and it just goes in the bottom of the tool bag. And you saw how I use that. Okay, this is a flare-it tool, so if you're going to use any of these connections that go on the PEX line, these are good to have. I do have two, because overwhelmingly we're going to use the larger end, the 1/2 inch. And so I've cut this one off right there, because sometimes it's access behind a toilet or something. You just don't have the access, or under a sink where you're really trying to connect these things. So I rarely use the 3/8 side. Overwhelmingly we're using the 1/2 inch side. So a lot of times I'll just cut this off, and just, it makes the tool smaller. Okay, that goes right there. All right, of course, headlights. I like the Petzl ones. I'll give a link on what T-I-K-K, Taka, whatever. Because watch, they 1, 2, 3, and I'm done. And I don't, if there's a red feature, but I don't need the strobing, I don't need the flashing. The guys that do the wind turbines that climb up there, this is what we did a man camp, and we came up on a bunch of the guys that climb up to the top of the wind turbines, and this is the lights that they use. And so they work great. They all use AAA batteries. Well, here, so they use AAA batteries, but they've also got the little rechargeable Petzl. I go through about 3 batteries a day, or I go through one of these a day. And then I've got a couple of these rechargeable cores that it just plugs in USB, so I can charge those. But yeah, I do like these a lot over all the ones that I've tried. So this is the headlight that I'll be using predominantly, and I just throw that in the tool bag. I may retire these because they're all sweaty. The lights themselves are fine, but the straps are all sweaty, so I might run these and wash them. So I'm going to put those in that pile to deal with. So the meter, I'm losing my voice. I need water. I like the Fluke 325. It's an AC/DC current voltage meter. It also has induction, and it also does continuity, and also does temperature. So for an RV tech, if you can afford it, this meter is a great everyday carry meter. It's got everything that we would need to use it for. So that meter usually goes right there. And let's see, where's my leads? Here they are. Okay. And the way I do my leads, I do not keep them on the meter. I have kept them on the meter, and then what happens is the ends down here would fatigue. So I'm in the habit of always taking them off the meter and rolling them up. Now you see how I'm untangling all these things? I hate untangling these wires, and so the next thing I'll show you is my test lead set, and you don't have that problem. So what I've done is I just grab the leads, and I just keep my hand kind of loose, and I just kind of roll them around my hand, and then that creates like a little bundle like that. Okay, and so then this little bundle goes right in the back. Okay, and then when I go to grab my leads, I grab, I don't know if you guys can see this in the shot here. Let me rotate it. Anyway, so I stick these up this way, so when I need to use them, I just grab the leads and they all pull out, and I don't have to deal with the tangling like I just did. Okay. Let me mention, okay, since we're on the test leads, this is a tool that I make. And so when you saw me dealing with the twisted and tangled wires, so with me making this tool, here's a commercial for my own tool. I went with parallel wiring. This is 14 gauge silicone, so it can handle being very cold. Some of the other test leads are using a PVC jacket, and it gets cold and it stays in like this tertiary structure that you're just fighting. So no matter how cold these get, they're still going to remain pliable. It's 14 gauge, so you can actually run a little bit more current through them. And then I've got stacking banana plugs. I use these all the time to create different types of configurations. So this one I make myself on my soldering table. This is one I was showing you about a little earlier, where I connect to a battery. And then a lot of these others are like the piercing probes. Having gone through this industry as long as I have, basically this is all you need. You could buy the big Fluke Master set, but half of those I never use. So I've gotten quite a few of the Fluke Master sets, and I don't need all that stuff. So I designed my own set, and I carry two of these test leads because there's times where you need to make them longer, or one's used to run power into something and the other one's used to monitor power, and they all connect directly to the what's the thing called, a meter. And then this has got fuses and more of these piercing probes and all this kind of stuff in the back. So anyway, check out this shameless plug, but this test lead, as I'm telling you, I love it. I use it on a lot of jobs, and that's why I'm proud of offering it to you guys. I'm happy to just put my whole thing behind it because it's great. That goes in there. So then we have a temperature probe. If we turn this on, yeah, we turn it on, and I stock all the, looks like the batteries, nope, they're good. So it's 55, 56 degrees right now. But yeah, give it, by tonight they're saying it's going to be in the upper 30s. So that's going to be quite a drop. And that's this wind coming through, the hot and cold air. So this is what I would use in an air conditioner, or if a person is going to have me work. So on an air conditioner, you do your supply and your return air using the exact same thermometer. You don't use two thermometers when you're doing supply and return. And a lot of times on a refrigerator, I'll have a person leave a little cup of water on the top shelf the day before we get there for a service call, and I'll use this temperature to check the temperature of my water. The temperature of the water in your refrigerator is the equivalent of the food temperature. You do not check air temperature in a refrigerator. You need to check food temperature, which would be the equivalent of a cup of water. So that's the thermometer thing there. Let's see, he goes, everything's backwards. I've got a pocket for this guy. Everything's backwards. Is it back on this side? Right here. Okay. I knew I had a place for him. He goes right there. Okay. Okay, now we're winding down. Okay, so this is just your typical hex thing. Sometimes I can't get the drill in there, or I'm being really gentle. So remember that this box here that had all the little fittings, it goes with that. So that goes right here with the screwdrivers. Okay. So now I see I have those would go in the test leads. These here, this set here, I carry with me, but this is before I really standardized on my test lead. I don't use these too much anymore, but they do have this piercing technology where you can pierce into a wire. So I carry them with me. I know I have them, but I don't use them too much because my test leads are working. And so here I see I've got more of those. So now I'm starting to get into the, oh, here, this is a fun thing I'm making. So I'm starting a new tool that we're going to be added to. In the beginning, I shared with you guys the our tool, the T3 interface tools that I'm making. This is something that I'm making. It's going to be a MyRiverWorks product, but I'm calling them RV Tech cards. Anyway, here's the idea, guys. We have a lot of information in our head as RV technicians. We need to know the fault codes of Schwintek motors and thermostats and refrigerators, all these fault codes, and I don't keep all that in my head. And every time I come across that, I have to go look up the manual and find out what the fault code means. This set right here is for an aquahot. And so when you're diagnosing an aquahot, you check your diesel burner, and you've got a thing called the B plug and the C plug. And I just kind of put them on little index cards, little cards. And so my plan is to make these a little bit nicer for you guys. I'll turn this back over this way. My plan is to make these a little nicer for everybody, and then you'll just clip all this resource information. And like I said, on our website where you get your tools, you'll find more as I make them. I've got about 150 in my design notebook. I just need to make them. So the idea is I'll clip right in your tool bag right there. And as you are going through your day and you need to know resource information on what an error code means, or what the thermistor values are on a refrigerator, or maybe even an exploded view of a furnace to pull up a part number with a QR code. That's what those are going to be for. Okay, so we're going to be developing those out, and I don't see an end anytime soon of me making those. So now we're down to the trash bag part. Let me show you this feature here. So I mentioned this in the beginning about why I like that tool bag. And so what do we have in here? I've got a cap for a PEX line. I don't know what that's for. I might dump this. I carry 2 plugs for like a water heater, or if I'm working on a toilet or something, I got to take that valve off. I can cap this. I've got the really big wire nuts. If I'm working on a converter, I can cap off the big wires that go to a battery. I've got a brass fitting to cap off a LP line, hose clamps, a various assortment of electrical terminals. Oh, these are always fun to have if you're working on a receptacle and the little thing broke off. I like to carry that in there. So this is just your little collection of random screws and electrical fittings. I don't need the earplug. That goes with it. Oh yeah, whole jobs. It took me forever to find one of these things, so I keep that in there. So those types of things go in here. Now I took these off right here, these WAGO connectors, and then this Ziploc bag was another one. I tell you what, I'm just going to dump that right in there. So this is me cleaning up my. So yeah, here we have one that's got that little piggyback connector on it. And these WAGO connectors are big, and there's a large size and a small size, and 5s and 4s. So anyway, that's one of the features I like about this new tool bag, little cover screws. Because all this stuff, where would you have put it? I was always losing this, and I was always walking around with a Ziploc bag. So now I've got all this stuff in here, and it goes right there. So that was a nice feature. I do carry this with me if I'm going to be checking a heating element on a refrigerator or something. This is used for that. So then, looks like we've got marker pins. I've got these alligator clips. I lost those in the tool bag. I carry an extra battery that goes with the drill. We talked about that in the beginning. So yes, my drill. Now, right here, if you get your new drill, it's going to have this little clip that you might clip on your belt or something. And I always used that on the tool bag. There's a little slot here where you would put a tape measure, and the drill always slid right there, and I loved it. But as it turns out, I haven't figured out, the screw broke off right there. I've got the clip around here somewhere, but the screw broke off. But then there's one on this side. And I know it's metric, and I took my little thing to figure out what size it is, but I haven't taken the time to fix this. So in the meantime, my whole drill just gets thrown in the tool bag. And so markers are always good. Markers are fun to have because you might need to reference, let's go this way with them. You might need to reference maybe 1 mark or 2 marks on a, if you're taking wires apart. This is one of these insect screen screwdrivers. I didn't carry it with me. I had them in the service trailer. It's got the slot in it for those insect screens. And try to get one of those things off without one of these screwdrivers, and good luck. So I decided to start carrying one of these little small screwdrivers with me, just for the time where you need to take an insect screen off. And now we're getting into the trash bag part. So you see I do have a lot. So this is actual trash. Here we have tie wraps. Here we have longer tie wraps. So normally, like this bag of tie wraps would have been full. So you see how many I've used. So I'm gonna get a whole new bag and put them. Normally these tie wraps go right there, is where that one goes. And then I've got smaller tie wraps. I like the ones that are different colors. If you see, there's the different. Well, here they are right here. They spilled. If I'm working on an Aquahot, or if I'm working on a BAL power system, or anything where I need to color code something, I have the paint pins in my service trailer, but I just go with different colored tie wraps, and that way if I'm disassembling something, I can just use different colored tie wraps to help figure out what the color was. So the rest of this, so you see I did a toilet job, here's an air conditioner job, here's extra batteries I just put right here. These are for the flashlight. So now I'm going to be sorting out different things. You don't need to see this grueling part. Oh, I was looking for this. So there's a thing. So that's why I dump my tool bag, guys, is to see. Here's a die for a... so yeah, because all this stuff would have been lost at the bottom of the tool bag. But yeah, the rest of this is... so the tie wraps that have the grommet in them, that's really nice if you're screwing wires off different. Here's another one of these things. Wow. So I'm finding all... Here's the other die. Wow. See, this is good. I'm finding all kinds of things. So the rest of this, I'll pull out the things that are good and basically throw away the things that are bad. So what I'm going to do now is, you don't need to see me go through this last little pile of debris. I'll clean it up, and then let's weigh the tool bag again, and we'll show you what the finished tool bag looks like. How's that sound? So let me do that, and then I'll catch you on the other side. Okay, so there we go. I just weighed. I finished up everything, cleaned off the desk. I got a whole new packet of tie wraps here, and then all the little colored ones I keep in this side. So in the final analysis, we've got simple hand tools in the front, bigger tools here in the middle, a big compartment, and on the back side is the Allen keys. This is just how I do mine. You'll do yours. If you're going to go shopping, we sure would appreciate it if you know, use our link from our site, and there you go. And then these tech cards I just clipped to my deal, and yeah, keep an eye out for these. I'm going to be coming out with these as I get time. I'm making them for myself, and they're awesome, so I might as well make them for you guys too. And well, anyway, there you go. So if this was helpful, give us a thumb up, share it with your friends. We've heard a lot of folks that are heading off to school. Hopefully we've inspired you guys. And if this is inspiring, you can join our Patreon. And for folks that are $15 and $25 pledge tier, we are offering a series of how to start, maintain, and operate your own mobile RV service business, giving you our best practices of having done this for a number of years. So Tricia and I have an interview type series where we go through that together. So you can check that out on our Patreon channel. So if you are a technician and this is something that you're wanting to do, you're heading off to school and you want to know, that was the goal behind this. This is what I carry with myself. And if you want to venture off and start your own business, you can follow along with how we do it as a best practice on our Patreon. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you guys on Patreon, where you're going to learn more about how to start and maintain or operate your mobile RV service business. If you're going to be an RV tech, this is what I carry in the field with myself. And then we're going to have a tour of our service trailer on our Patreon channel. So if you want to know that, you'll see us on Patreon as well. We're trying to build that Patreon channel up. We can really add value to you guys that are really wanting to do this, kind of like to the level that I do it. So we're going to kind of batten down the hatches because the storm's coming, and I hope this was very valuable to you. That's why I did it. And so subscribe to our channel, click the bell button. We go live every month on Friday. Off the top of my head, I don't know the times. I should, but on the first Friday of every month, plus or minus a Friday here or there, we go live. We're going to live streaming. Patreon, the upper tiers get a live Zoom meeting with us in the office and you guys. So the Zoom is available for folks on Patreon at the higher tier. We've got our How to Start a Business over there on the Patreon side. And but you're welcome to just hang out here for free on the YouTube side as well. We'll put these content together for you guys. So anything we can do to help, we're happy to do that for you. We're putting content out there for you. So check out our tool site and with our tool bags, and buy stuff from our Amazon link. But if you find it cheaper someplace else, that's fine too. So we really appreciate you guys. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you on the next video. This is Darren from Joyce. Till the next video, thank you for watching.